Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another discussion video. So I was taking another look at one of the surveys we got in 2020, outlining some potential features we could get in the future, and I came across one that I wasn't really thinking too much about at the time, but could be a way of bringing back a fan favorite NPC. And that is, of course, the burglar. So this idea they outlined here is called Heist. Whether you're an aspiring Debbie or Danny Ocean, build your team to seek out and recover the stolen artifacts to return them to their rightful owners. Can you execute the perfect plan, or will your team end up in the slammer? Definitely a very outlandish idea compared to the sorts of packs that we typically get, and not necessarily one that I really want, but I'm just thinking back to how it seemed that we mainly got improved babies because they were working on growing together, and then we did get infants for free, but then a lot of the compelling gameplay with them is locked behind the milestone system in growing together. I would not be surprised if they are waiting for some sort of big opportunity like that to bring back burglars, because we have almost all of the really majorly popular NPCs across the Sims franchise back in the Sims 4 at this point. But yeah, it's just so weird that we still don't have burglars that have been with the Sims since day one. Plus, if The Sims 4 is to go on for so much longer and even have some overlap with Project Renee when that is out, then I don't think every single idea they do from here on out is just going to be a majorly requested one in terms of all the features. Yeah, they could bring back the burglar, I'm sure, especially if we have so many years left still. And with us already having so many of the typical Sims expansion packs that so many ask for, like seasons and pets and university and generations, then yeah, they're going to eventually run out of ideas and have to resort to do some more just out there ideas or completely unexpected ones like eco lifestyle. As long as they have to keep doing a certain amount of packs to keep EA happy with the money rolling in, then I could imagine this heist idea in some form coming to fruition. So I guess we'll just have to hope that they do fulfill some of the more currently requested ideas before then, like hotels and bands and hobbies. But it would be interesting to see how much more they could improve burglars. I actually did make a couple of wishlist videos in the past about this, and one thing that always comes to my mind is it'd be great if we could have a setting for how often burglars could appear, but have that be controlled through lot challenges or lot traits instead of just through the options menu. So you could have certain neighborhoods have more crime than others, or some having no crime at all because they could just feel really remote, like the Bramblewood in Henford-on-Bagley or the Muapalam Island in Sulani. But maybe in your game you want those areas to be full of crime, so then on those lots you could activate the lot challenge to raise the chances of burglars coming to steal your stuff. Now, hopefully that particular aspect would still be in the free update alongside with just the basic behavior of the burglar NPC. But then with the heist pack itself, that is kind of an interesting idea that you could build out an entire team to bring back stolen artifacts. So there's a bit of an actual cooperation aspect and not just acting on your own where you are a burglar instead of it only being an NPC. And interesting too that there is a little other potential motivation behind it other than potentially just making some money for whoever you're working for, but to actually retrieve a stolen artifact, not simply going around to other Sims' houses and stealing whatever just to potentially make some money or just keep it in your own house. But maybe that could still be a thing. I mean, yeah, we do have the kleptomaniac trait, but it's not quite the same thing. It's still pretty limited. So there could be, I don't know if you would call it a morality system, but I guess you could just say different directions that you could go if you want your sim to be a burglar. But of course, not every single heist would be a successful one. It is possible that you could be thrown in jail, like it said in the survey, which I think could also be interesting. I wonder if with that theoretical pack installed, it could even apply to other things, like maybe there could be some chance cards added to existing careers where you could risk doing something. It would be criminal, but if you manage to get away with it, you could get a promotion or some raise or something like that. But then if you fail, then yeah, you could still end up going to jail for a while. Of course, there is the criminal career itself that's in the base game, so naturally that could also be expanded upon with many chances to end up in the slammer. Though I wonder how well that would integrate with jail in Get to Work, since there is a jail at the police station when you work in the detective active career. I know in The Sims 3 it was also possible to be sent to jail, but it was just the police station rabbit hole, so there were a few different tasks I believe your Sims could do, like working out and such, but you weren't able to watch your Sim in jail at all. So maybe if you did have Get to Work, there could be some integration there where you could follow your Sim to jail. So you would have to maybe make sure that you've added a bit more to do there if you want it to be interesting. Maybe they could even apply the law to certain other actions that you could do while out in public. Like, say, if your Sim gets into a fight at the bar, then they could get arrested for that, especially if you were to have them attack the same Sim multiple times. And then, if your Sim happens to be a celebrity with Get Famous installed, then they could have the ability to bribe their way out of any sort of penalty. And then, if they're a less famous Sim, like a 1-star celebrity, it probably won't work. But then, if they're a 5-star celebrity, it'd be pretty much guaranteed they could get away with some kind of bribe. Speaking of Get Famous, I remember watching a video from Plumbella a month or two ago where she showed that if you visit another Sim's house and they have the vault from that pack with money stored in it, if you go and steal money, the Sims don't really react to you. Whereas it would make sense if they called the police, and if you don't try and get away, then the police can arrest you for that. They could even make a little mini game out of it, because normally in The Sims 4 you can just hit the M key and then instantly travel anywhere, but then if you have done some kind of criminal act that's got the attention of the police and they're chasing you, then travel would be temporarily disabled until you manage to run far enough away from them, or just manage to beat all the police officers in a fight. Then you'll get the ability to travel again. Come to think of it, I guess they would have to do something like that to make a heist pack work, so that you don't just instantly beat any heist the moment you swipe the objects that you need to get. I think they could pull off a heist theme in a game pack, and then the free update just before that would include the burglar NPC. It could be like Dream Home Decorator, but in a less conventional way, where it is still a career-focused pack, but just not your typical sort of thing. I'm pretty sure a new world would need to be included with a heist pack though, because they would need to build some lots designed around the idea of infiltrating them and having some sort of security system as well. Oh, and one other thing I just randomly thought of is, it'd be cool to see the martial arts skill brought back in a pack like this. We do have some of those animations in the game right now because of Strangerville. There's that training dummy with similar animations to what we had in Sims 3 World Adventures, but the whole like skill system and sparring is not quite on the same level, and it would make so much sense to have the possibility for Heist to go wrong and then having better fights than just a dust cloud every time some kind of conflict happens with a sim that's opposing you. And I don't necessarily mean just the sim you're stealing from or the police, but maybe there could even be rivalries between different sims that are all doing heists around the world. So the more I think about it, even though this heist idea would still be very low on the things I'd want to see in The Sims 4 or just The Sims in general, I think there is more potential when you think about it in a sort of like, hey, maybe you could have more of a criminal justice system where there are some consequences for doing things, especially out in public, that don't really have much consequences in the game right now, but could add a lot more realism. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think of this heist idea? And do you think this is the way that they would bring burglars back finally? And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content. I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.